In this lesson, we look at how we compare and order rational numbers. Comparing and ordering rational numbers is really just like ordering those integer values that we've been working with. But the set of rational numbers includes fractions and decimals as well. So we'll have to think about those in our work today. We're just going to start by practicing comparing numbers using the less than, greater than, or equal to sign. And in our first example, we see negative 4 7/10 compared to negative 4 3/4. It might be easier when you have decimals and fractions in the same problem to do conversions if you're not comfortable with comparing them in their current format. So in this case, if you want, you can change that negative 4 3/4 to a decimal, and that would be negative 4 and 75/100. Think about quarters here. And now we can do our comparison a little more easily. You see that we have negative 4 7/10 compared to negative 4 75/100. Now, since they're both on the negative side, we have to think of these as two debts. The larger the debt, the smaller the value. The larger the debt, the farther away we are from zero. So in this case, if I'm thinking about a number line, I know 4 7/10 is going to be between 4 and 5. So it's going to be between the negative 4 7/10 will be between negative 4 and negative 5. And so will the negative 4 75/100. So if we think about the halfway point between negative 4 and negative 5 is negative 4.5. We know we're going to be closer to negative 5 for the negative 4 75/100. Okay? Now, if we know where that debt is on the number line, we can think about the negative 4 7/10. Well, that's like negative $4.70. Well, that's a little less money, so that's going to be closer to zero. So in this case, negative 4 7/10 is going to be greater than negative 4 75/100. In the next example, we have negative 5 6/10 compared to negative 5 6/10. And if you're saying that decimal with place value, you see that those two are actually equal to one another. If you think about negative 5.6 as a fraction, that's exactly what it looks like. So no big conversions necessary there if you're saying the decimal with place value. In the third example, we have 32 2/7 compared to 31 1/10. And we can just really look at the whole number since they're both on the positive side. We know 31 1/10 is going to be a little bit smaller than 32 2/7. And then in the last example, we have negative 11 8/10 compared to negative 12. If we think about this as dollar amounts, this is a debt of $11.80. This second number is a debt of $12. Well, 1180 is a little closer to zero than 12, so that number on the negative side is going to be larger than negative 12. All right, let's take a look at the numbers in this list and put them in order from least to greatest. Remember, you can always draw out a number line if you need some additional help with this. I'm going to start by separating out my negatives and my positives. And I see that I have 3 negative values here and only 1 positive value. So I know that that positive value is going to be my largest number. And if I want to look at a number line, I can see that it occurs right over here. Now I need to look at negative 9.5, negative 7 1/4, and negative 7 1/2. And I know that by looking at the whole number portion of these numbers that negative 9 is farther away than negative 7. So I know it's probably going to be my smallest number in this list. And now I'm down to comparing negative 7 1/4 to negative 7 1/2. So we can use the number line. We know that 7 1/2 is between negative 7 and negative 8. And if I think in terms of money, negative 7 1/4 is like negative $7.25. And that's going to be between negative $7 and negative $7.50. Okay, so you can do the conversions if you need to. You can use a number line. But in the end, you need to make sure that you list the original numbers that you were given in order from least to greatest. And that's a positive 1.5. Okay, so this would be how you present your answer for this particular type of problem. All right, we have one more example here that we'll take a look at in ordering numbers from least to greatest. And we will, again, separate out the positive values first. So I see I have a positive 5 1/10. I know that's going to be my largest number in this particular case because it's the only positive value I have. So now I have negative 5 1/4, negative 6, and negative 5 2/10. And I know that that negative 6 is going to be farther to the left of 0 than either of the negative 5 values. So that will be my first number, my least. And if I think about negative 5 1/4, that's like negative $5.25, while negative 5 2/10 is like negative $5.20. And owing somebody $5.20 puts me closer to being out of debt than owing them $5.25. So my negative 5 1/4 is going to be less than my negative 5 2/10. And that allows me to understand how I need to put those in order from least to greatest. All right, as we wind up this quick lesson, please don't forget to do the WSQ at the end of your note-taking. Thank you.